You wouldn't feel the Earth stop until everything around you tried to kill you. 5 seconds. That's all it takes. 5 seconds for the planet beneath your feet to slam the brakes and rewrite everything you think you know about reality. Because here's the unsettling truth. Right now, you're already moving at over 1,600 kilometers per hour, and you don't even notice it. So what happens when that motion suddenly disappears? At first, nothing feels wrong. No warning. No countdown. Just a normal moment. That turns into something impossible. And this is where it gets weird. The ground stops. Instantly. But you don't. Everything not bolted to the Earth keeps moving at full speed. Including you. Including buildings. Including the air itself. But here's the strange part. You wouldn't just fall. You'd be thrown. Violently. Sideways. Faster than any car. Faster than a jet during takeoff. And that raises a terrifying question. If everything keeps moving, what happens to the atmosphere? Because the air doesn't magically stop with the planet. It keeps going. Which means the sky itself becomes a weapon. And in less than a second, the calm blue above you transforms into a horizontal hurricane, faster than anything humans have ever survived. But that's not even the craziest part. Because what happens next doesn't just destroy cities. It reshapes the entire planet. And once you understand why the Earth spins in the first place, you'll realize why stopping it, even for 5 seconds, isn't just dangerous. It's catastrophic. The Earth spins because it was never meant to be still. Billions of years ago, a swirling cloud of gas and dust collapsed into something more, something alive with motion. Every collision, every fragment merging together, added momentum. Like a cosmic figure skater pulling their arms in tighter, spinning faster and faster. And here's the key. There's almost nothing in space to slow it down. So once the Earth started spinning, it never stopped. Until now. Imagine that rotation freezing instantly. The surface locks. The oceans pause. The continents hold their breath. But the atmosphere? It refuses to cooperate. And this is where everything breaks. Near the equator, the Earth spins fastest. Over 1,600 kilometers per hour. That speed doesn't just vanish. It transfers. Into the air. Into you. Into everything. What happens next changes everything. The air surges forward like an invisible wall. Winds explode across the planet at speeds no storm has ever reached. Not a hurricane. Not a tornado. Something far worse. These winds don't just knock you down. They erase you. Buildings collapse like paper. Steel bends. Concrete shatters. Entire cities are ripped from their foundations and hurled across the landscape. And if you think hiding indoors would save you, it wouldn't. Because the force tearing through the air is stronger than anything we've ever built. But here's the twist. Even that isn't the deadliest part. Because while the sky is trying to rip the planet apart, the planet itself is about to change shape. The Earth isn't perfectly round. It only looks that way. In reality, it bulges at the equator, stretched outward by its own spin. A subtle distortion caused by centrifugal force. But remove that spin, and the planet snaps back. And this is where it gets terrifying. The moment rotation stops, the bulge disappears. The Earth begins reshaping itself into a perfect sphere. And all that extra mass at the equator? It has to go somewhere. Mostly it's water. Oceans that once sat comfortably around the middle of the planet suddenly lose their balance. And gravity takes over. But here's the strange part. Water doesn't move slowly. It collapses. Massive walls of oceans surge toward the poles. Entire seas begin migrating across continents. Coastlines vanish in seconds. Cities drown before they even understand what's happening. But that's not even the craziest part. Because this only lasts 5 seconds. And when the Earth starts spinning again, everything reverses. What happens next changes everything. All that displaced water doesn't gently settle back. It rushes back violently. A second global tsunami. Even larger. Even faster. A double Adar of destruction. Nothing escapes both waves. And that raises a chilling question. Is there anywhere on Earth you could survive this? Or is the entire planet effectively wiped clean? Survival depends on one thing. Where you are when it happens. Near the equator, it's over instantly. The speed is highest. The forces are strongest. Winds alone are enough to erase everything. But move closer to the poles, and something changes. The rotational speed drops. The violence weakens slightly. And this is where it gets weird. For a brief moment, the poles might feel almost calm compared to the rest of the planet. The winds are slower. The sideways force is less extreme. But less extreme doesn't mean safe. Because even here, the planet is still tearing itself apart. Shock waves ripple through the ground. The oceans still surge. The atmosphere still rages. And survival becomes a matter of pure luck. Maybe deep underground. Maybe in a reinforced bunker. But even then, you're not escaping the aftermath. Because 5 seconds later, when everything restarts, the damage doesn't stop. It compounds. The returning spin slams the atmosphere again. The oceans reverse direction. The ground shifts under unimaginable stress. And what happens next changes everything. Even if you somehow survive the initial chaos, the world you emerge into isn't the same world you knew. It's something else entirely. And that leads to the most disturbing realization of all. Even if you survived, there would be nothing left to survive in. Every city gone. Every power grid destroyed. Every system humanity depends on, wiped out in seconds. But here's the part most people don't think about. It's not just the destruction. It's the silence after. No communication. No infrastructure. No organized society. Just scattered survivors on a planet that no longer behaves the way it used to. And this is where it gets truly unsettling. The Earth would keep spinning again. Day and night would return. The sky would look normal. But nothing beneath it would be. Entire ecosystems would collapse. Agriculture would be impossible. The climate itself could shift unpredictably after such a violent reset. And that raises one final question. Could humanity rebuild? Or would those 5 seconds be enough to push civilization past the point of no return? Because here's the truth. The Earth isn't fragile. We are. And while this scenario sounds impossible, it forces you to realize just how much of our survival depends on something we never notice. The quiet, constant spin beneath our feet. So next time you feel the ground standing still, ask yourself this. What if it didn't?